It's Ian McVey, and I'm the General Manager EMEA for Visio.
Yeah. So firstly, would you be able to describe what is quiet quitting firstly?
Certainly. So quiet quitting is the phenomena whereby employees are not being as 100% productive or 110% productive as they could be in their job day to day for a number of reasons. That means their employers are not getting the very best out of the employees. So they're therefore kind of voting without their feet, but voting with their work rate a little bit based on a number of pressures they may be facing day to day.
Yeah, so how many people would you say are like feeling trapped in the current job then?
So Visio has recently conducted two surveys, actually, one in the summer and one last month. The one in the summer showed that 90% of households or respondents were struggling to keep up with the cost of living, and that 79% of those respondents believed their employer had a responsibility, and 71% felt their employer was doing nothing about it. The most recent survey said that 80% of respondents are going to remain with their company, but 46% wish they could leave. And this is really on the basis of keeping up with the cost of pressure and cost of living, but the counter trend of being slightly fearful over a recession and the continuing tightening of a recession. So 67% of respondents said that they're concerned over this last hired, first fired. So that notion that if you're new to a company, if the recession tightens and jobs get cut, you'll be the first to go. So those competing pressures means that, that puts a bit of pressure onto people feeling a bit despondent and potentially moving to a third of them looking at quiet quitting.
Yeah, so what would you say is keeping people in the job then?
I think, as I've just outlined there, the fear of moving is keeping people where they are. But equally, those that are still there are still open to a dialogue with their employers to say, 40% said a potential bonus may help. 30% said that reskilling or learning or training would help the current situation. And nearly a quarter said that reviewing hybrid working and how that works for each individual would also ameliorate some of the pain that they're feeling. So I think that's the good news. There is an open dialogue to be had between employer and employee. That means employers can manage costs, but potentially create a bonus scheme as a one-off. And we've seen many great companies have done that, but not all companies, I'm aware, can afford to do that. But equally providing learning opportunities at this time that help people grow and stretch their career in new directions that may have a higher pay point to it.
Yeah, you just outlined there, but what can motivate and make us feel more confident in our current jobs at the minute, do you think?
Well, those are several of the factors. I think, why do we come to work? Why do you go to work, right? Why do I go to work? And it can be very personal and very different. For some people, it can be, what's the mission I'm on? What's my company doing? How am I part of that mission? For others, it can be, I just want to go 9 to 5, earn a good wage and be able to go and have time with my friends and family at the weekends and on holidays. For others, it might be, I like interacting with people and I like the work that I do. But for all of us, it's a bit of a blend within that. And so, employers need to really take down and understand that. What is the motivations of each individual employee and how do they listen to that and how do they react to that? And that's where I'm a technologist. Visio is a technology company, and technologies such as Visio help our customers, employers, with that listening capability and analytical capability that means we can really get the very best deal for employers and for employees, because there's a greater level of data, insight, and understanding that can be actioned.
Yeah, so what should we do if we are feeling trapped at work and we're feeling like this? What can be done?
Again, I don't know where I'm intersecting the lives of each of your individual listeners, so I want to be sure I'm being empathetic to that.
Yeah, sorry, you just cut out there, I think. Hello, Ian, are you still there?
Yeah, I think he's just frozen. It's fine. Let me ping him on the internal.
So that's one dimension. The other dimension is
Sorry, Ian.
if
It looks like there was a bit of you froze just as you're about to start to answer the question.
Yeah,
it's all right, Ade.
Cut out.
Let it run, and then
it's all good. So.
Yeah, let it run, Ade, and then they'll deal with it afterwards. So you throw me off my. So number one, reskilling. Number two, having an active dialogue with employers around if hybrid work is a challenge, if returning to the office is a challenge because of cost to commute, versus working from home may be a challenge because of cost of energy. So, but having an open dialogue with your employer around that is important. And then if really you are experiencing particularly strong fiscal challenges, saying that to your employer and saying, is there a bonus scheme that can help me as a one-off? And we've seen a lot of our customers look at that and look at how to apportion a bonus scheme across their employee base in a way that best fits the needs of individual employees, and best gets the return for the company in applying it. And a lot of that comes from using a technology like Visio to be able to get those sorts of insights.
Yeah. So how do you think this situation can develop over time, maybe in the next couple of years? Do you think that there'll be more or less people feeling like this in the workplace?
Yeah, I say two things to this, and this is really important because on the first hand, what is now is not what will be, and what is now will not last forever. And that, roll back 18 months, 2 years, we were in the middle of a pandemic, all locked at home. Now we're out and about. And who would have thought that at the time 2 years ago? Okay, you might not be able to see the future as bright as the present in which you're seeing your current situation. So recessions are generally relatively short-lived, 1 year to 2 years. So I would say the first message is plan for a longer horizon than year one. Look at year 2, 3, 4. And if you're an employer, have that mindset. So don't do any knee-jerk reactions on your employee base to cut costs in the short term, when in the long term it may hurt you because you then struggle to recruit in years 2, 3, 4. And that leads me to my second point, which is since 2000, there were 200 million companies globally in 2000. Last year, there were 350 million companies globally. So that's nearly a doubling in the number of global companies, which you could correlate is the doubling in the number of jobs. And in the UK, there's 1.3 million job vacancies. At the same time, since the 50s, the average number of children per household has gone from 5 down to 2.4 globally, and only 1.7 in the US. So in other words, more jobs, less people. That means that each person is more valuable in the roles that they're performing for the companies that need them. So I would take longer term structural confidence that we're not necessarily a commodity now to be hired and fired. The talent base is exactly that, a talent base that is precious as a resource, as an asset, not a resource, an asset to be preserved and used, skilled, trained, motivated for the very best productivity and outcome. And I think that's kind of a key message. And again, technology helps understand that. It helps understand what skills do I need in the future? How am I taking that internal talent pool and upskilling them for those skills in the future without having to go external even for external hiring? And how am I creating an employee culture that makes everybody on board with the missions that they're on?
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's quite comprehensive, thanks. I think it really, if I was to summarize, it's basically be a people first business. So put your people at the heart of what you do, have a longer term planning horizon than the short term recession risk you may be faced with, and make sure you've got enough data that you've collected through technology like Visio that gives you the insights to be able to match what you can do affordably to the individuals that have the most business impact for you. And the only way you can understand and do that is through technology.